Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is Jerry and I'm hailing you from the Antares shipyard, and today I'm bringing you another re-review video, and we're going to be taking a look at the Classic Movies OP Month 3 prize ship, the H.M.S. Bounty. For those of you who are unaware or didn't play the game when organized play was going on, the Classic Movies was a culmination of 3 months worth of organized play based off of scenarios from the original series movies. More specifically, the Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock, and The Voyage Home. The HMS Bounty is the prize ship for The Voyage Home. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's kick right into it. So we got the HMS Bounty here, which is a reskin of Kruge's Bird of Prey, which I do like that they call out here in the text. But it is a Federation Burrell class 4133 weapon, 4 crew slots, no tech slots, coming in at 22 points. It's a little expensive for today's game. But you got your standard cloaking action bar. So you don't have very many Federation ships that can do some cloaking. Now, if there are any Federation cards assigned to the ship, you also add a scan and battle stations icons to the action bar. Meaning, not only do you have the cloak action bar, but you get the full access to the full Federation action bar if you only have Federation upgrades equipped to the ship, which is amazing that you get actions. You have actions available to you that are not normally available to a cloaking ship. And then, of course, the final is this ship cannot be in the same fleet as Kruge's Bird of Prey, because they are in fact one and the same. Okay, moving to the next card, we have the generic, but I didn't feel like showing off a generic because it is a generic Burrell. We know how good they are, coming in at 13 points. So now we've got the Burrell movement card, which again I've shown my love for. I am a very big Klingon person. I fly Burrells and I fly Quivore classes when I play. So I'm very, very fond of their movement. So the first captain, well, the only captain we have in the pack here is James T. Kirk. All of your Federation crew upgrades cost 1 less SP point. Whenever one of your crew upgrades is supposed to be disabled, you may place 3 time tokens on that upgrade instead. Skill of 8. He's got an elite talent slot cost 5. So definitely playing with some time here, which is really cool because the Voyage Home is based around time travel. So being able to do time tokens versus disabling is a really cool kind of feature, kind of thematic for the pack as a whole. The first crew we get in this pack is Nyota Uhura, cost of 5. At the start of the combat phase, you may discard this card to target all opposing ships within range 1 of your ship. Each target ship must either discard a token, an evade, scan, or battle station that is beside it, or place an auxiliary power token beside it. So, she's a really cool card. She dives into this part of the game that I call token denial. It's kind of it's newer, and we've seen it more and more in the new sets coming. That hey, I'm going to take a token away, or I'm going to steal a token from you. I think Nyota Uhura is kind of the key in starting all of that, or going down that route. So, it cost of 5. I think she's probably a little too expensive for today's game, but she fits right in with that token denial aspect. Again, she could probably be lowered to 3-4. I'm thinking 4 because she targets all opposing ships within range 1. Which, if you get down into a bind, she can hit multiple ships that way. So I think cost of 4 would be prudent for her versus a cost of 5. The next crew we get in this pack is the Pavel Chekhov. At the end of the activation phase, you may disable this card to place an auxiliary power token beside your ship to flip 2 of your disabled shield tokens from red back to their active shield sides, which is blue. Interesting tidbit about this card. I think the cost is fine. I think he is great for what he does. The thing that a lot of people didn't realize at the time was he was a card that allows you to turn your shields back on and still hold your cloak token. Definitely ahead of his time, didn't get a lot of play in that kind of aspect of the game, but something to keep your eye on, especially if you're going to run like a scimitar fleet with the scimitar that's going to keep its shields with its improved cloaking, and then maybe you've got another ship that you want to do cloaked or cloaking, you want to keep some shields. Pavel Chekhov definitely can help you there. Of course, at the end phase, you have to flip those shields back over, but Pavel Chekhov nonetheless really helps you out in that case. And it was a really interesting case study when this card was being used over in Discord in the Fremont Reformation Discord server during one of our tournaments. And the judges, we had to kind of look at the card and decide, okay, yep, this is exactly what that card is meant to do. So the next crew in this pack is Montgomery Scott. You add one upgrade slot to your upgrade bar, tech or weapon. At any time, you may disable this card to remove an auxiliary power token from inside your ship. So, cost of 4, fine. It probably is better off as a cost of 3 now with everything getting re-looked at. But 3-4, I'm okay with the cost here. Montgomery Scott doing Montgomery Scott things. He is a miracle worker. Getting rid of your Ox Power token. That's good. Next crew in this pack is Hikaru Sulu. If you execute a red maneuver, you may disable this card instead of placing an auxiliary power token beside your ship. So again, cost of 3, I think that's great. Sulu, doing Sulu things, being the pilot, he's able to let you do a red maneuver and not place an auxiliary power token. Really works really well with the Burrell, or the Bounty here in this case, where you want to do that come about and you don't have to place an auxiliary power token. Okay, so I believe that is it for all of the cards that come in the pack. So yes, most notably, you are missing a Leonard McCoy. You're missing a Mr. Spock in this pack. And I don't exactly know what the reasons are there. But something tells me that we will see them in the future. So I want to try something new here, and I actually want to bring up BOP rules because I realize as I'm recording these videos and looking back at them, I realize that not a lot of people have actually played in organized play or were around for that. Now, I can tell you my personal experience is I didn't get into organized play until about 2017, 2018 when it was kind of winding down. But my group was very good at replaying OPs, so I got to replay a lot of them. So I did get that experience before my group ultimately fell apart. But nonetheless, I want to bring it up just so that people can see. So this is month 3, the voyage home. While you are battling with an enemy fleet, an alien probe enters your sector. This probe is draining the power from everything that comes in contact with, and none of your efforts have had any effect on it. The probe seems to be on a course towards the Earth. Can you avoid this strange probe and defeat your enemy, or you will be left powerless in space? So you can see here we've got the setup map, which you've got player 1 starting at the north edge, player 2 starting at their south edge, and you got your objective token, which represents the alien probe. So let's get into the special rules. The alien probe. The objective token represents the alien probe as it moves across the play area towards the Earth. Treat this as a ship that does not perform any actions, cannot attack or be attacked, and cannot be affected by player ships in any way. So you can't target lock it, you can't do a bunch of all these other things, target it for ganking or making it so it can attack. Each round, at the end of every phase, the alien probe moves in a straight line across the play area until it exits through the western edge of the play area. To move the alien probe, place a 2 straight maneuver template next to the edge of the objective token that is nearest the western edge of the play area. While holding the template in place, lift the objective token off the play surface, then place it at the opposite end of the template, so that the edge of the token is nearest to the eastern edge of the play area and touches the template. Note, the objective token should remain centered north to south at all times. If the alien probe overlaps another ship's base, that ship is destroyed immediately. Alright, and then here are the setup. So place the objective token center north to south in the play area so that it touches the eastern edge of the play area, and then the player is then set up using the standard 2-player rules. Okay, so that was the first sheet, and now we will move to the second sheet here, and let me zoom in for you. Alright, so these are more of the special rules. So we've got a power drain. The alien probe drains the power from ships that are too close as it follows. During the planning phase, a ship that is within range 2 of the alien probe at the start of the planning phase cannot choose a maneuver from its maneuver dial that has a speed greater than 2. A ship that is within range 1 of the alien probe at the start of the planning phase does not choose a maneuver and cannot move. So definitely simulating what happened to the USS Saratoga at the start of the voyage home, or the USS Yorktown we find out later on. During the activation phase, if a ship executes a maneuver that would cause the final position of its base to end within range 2 of the alien probe, the ship loses its perform action step. So you begin to feel the effects of the probe. If a ship executes a maneuver that would cause the final position of its base to end within range 1 of the alien probe, the ship places an auxiliary power token beside it and loses its perform action step. If a ship executes a maneuver that would cause the final position of its base to overlap the alien probe, move the active ship backwards along the top of the template until it no longer overlaps the alien probe. The ship then suffers 2 damage, places auxiliary power token beside it, and loses its perform action step. So if the alien probe runs into your ship explodes immediately. If your ship runs into the probe, you have to back it up, suffer 2 damage, get an aux power, and lose your action. During the combat phase, any attacks made by the ship within range 2 of the alien probe are made at -2 attack dice. Each time a ship within range 2 of the alien probe defends, it rolls one less defense die. A ship that is within range 1 of the alien probe cannot attack or defend. In addition, a cloaked ship within range 1 of the alien probe must flip its cloak token over to its red side. So you can't hide from the probe. During the end phase, a ship within range 2 of the alien probe can flip up to 2 of its disabled shield tokens, red, back to their active sides, blue. A ship within range 1 of the alien probe cannot flip any of its disabled shield tokens back to their active sides. The game ends when one player is eliminated, or the alien probe exits through the play area through the western edge of the play area, or the time limit is reached. So organized play did have a time limit of 60 minutes. The objective, destroy all of your opponent's ships. And that is it. If you want to make this, I found when I was playing this myself, the range 2 maneuver template really kind of moved the alien probe along pretty quickly. So if you wanted to make this last a little bit longer and throw the time limit out, you could use the 1 maneuver template instead of the 2. But overall, not a bad prize pack. It's nice to have the H.M.S. bounty added into the game. So until next time, I'll see you around the shipyard.